Okay, so I see this might have begun. We'll see if this will be activated. And yes, I see it is. Okay. It's kind of funny how everybody is already like getting themselves excited and hyped up and stuff like that. Like I've already seen like in the chat wall, people are already like trying to count down until this officially starts. Oh boy. And yeah, well, before I begin, I just want to say no, I'm not going to be talking about Nintendo Direct this week. I know that a lot of stuff has already happened, like Luigi's Mansion 3 and Isabelle being in Smash, but no, that's not going to be something I will talk about this week. But I do have a lot of other interesting stories to talk about, just saying. But with all that said, though, let us go ahead and start this off. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. And this time around, it's going to be a pretty fascinating episode because I'm going to start this off with a whole bunch of trailers, and then right afterwards, I'm going to be going into some very interesting pieces of animation where at first it might not seem like it would connect to animation, but in a funny way, it actually does. But you will see, this is going to be pretty fun, and it's, honestly, it will be pretty exciting. So, I don't think there's anything else to go and report right now, so why don't we go ahead and get things started with this? So, let me just ask you guys, are you ready for today's episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast? Chadwell, are you all ready for this? Because I'm sure anybody who is listening or watching this, they're pretty much ready. So, what do you guys think? Are you ready right now? Okay, let's see. We got people ready. Ooh, we got one subscribed. All right. Okay, so we got people ready, we got people excited, that is awesome. So let's go ahead and begin this right now. And yes, I'm going to start things off with a trailer. And this is something that a lot of people have been talking about. Now, whether it be a good way or a bad way, it's pretty much all over the place though. But with all that said and done, I want to know what you guys would probably think. Well, first of all, I'll try to express what do I think of it. But let's go ahead and have our first ever look into the teaser trailer of DreamWorks Animation's next big Netflix series, which is going to be She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. So, let's go ahead and have a listen to this.
Adora.
Who are you? What's going on?
Balance must be restored. You do not yet realize the power you have. The time has come to show you your destiny.
You're not making any sense. I don't understand.
You will.
She-Ra and the Princesses of Power.
Alright, and then it would just loop from there. But yeah, basically we got a 45-second trailer of DreamWorks' next animated series, which is going to be the reboot of She-Ra, which is the girl equivalent of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. And basically, this really does work as a teaser trailer, because that's pretty much what we got. What it showed, basically, as you probably have seen, is basically we saw the sword, and it's hidden in this deep forest where She-Ra herself would actually hear the voice saying to pick up the sword and you're destined for greatness and all that stuff. And then right at the end, we see her ultimately becoming the new She-Ra, where basically she transformed herself Sailor Moon style into the costume that we know what she looks like today. So this is pretty much what we have and what DreamWorks has in store with this new series of She-Ra. And what's very interesting to note about this new She-Ra series is that ever since we have first seen new pictures of what this new She-Ra would look like, ever since they revealed the first artworks about it, it has been a little bit it got itself into some controversy. And what I mean by that is that there are actually some people out there who actually did complain that this interpretation of She-Ra is not hot enough. That was actually the main thing that they were complaining about. They were saying that she's not as attractive as she was back in the 80s, or that she looked too much like a boy, or she looked too much like Ben 10, or something like that. So they were pretty much complaining about She-Ra's looks. So,
For the honor of Grace!
basically, they were pretty much complaining this is not sexy enough for them, and that's why they're pretty much judging that this is a bad show, and of course, it's another series, another animated reboot that the cartoon community is complaining about. And there are still some people to this day that are still trying to go after this hard. Even this trailer from DreamWorks' official YouTube channel, it's got a bit of mixed results. Like you see in the like-dislike bar, you got around 5,000 likes, and then you also got 2,000 dislikes from people who just don't like their looks. And this apparently is a controversy that actually happened while I was out in my California vacation. This is why I have yet to actually discuss about this in my podcast. And let me just say that it's honestly at the point where, with this one, it's actually pretty hilarious how pathetic that the cartoon community would go and find something to hate about this. The fact that they would say, like, oh, she's not attractive enough. We don't see much of her boobs. Why is she isn't sexy like she was last time? Why don't they try to get back on the, why don't they make her sexy like she was before? And all that kind of stuff. And it's so stupid. It's like the funniest non-complaint that I've ever heard, because all those guys who complain that she's not sexy enough, or they complain about this animation or whatever, you could tell that those are the kind of guys that they are lonely AF. That these guys, they're just shallow as hell. They just want to judge women by their looks, and they would even go as far as doing so with cartoon characters, which in this case is freaking She-Ra. And honestly, it's just kind of, and like I said, it's really funny to just see them really try to slam hard on the animation right here, or on the design of this new She-Ra, saying that, oh, she's not hot enough for me. Yeah, like you have frickin' standards, of course. Like you have any standards, like women would go and ask you out. That's hilarious, boy. And the funny thing is, I just want to say that, well, obviously, the whole point of She-Ra, whether it be with this She-Ra, or even the She-Ra that was made back in the 80s, the intention is not for her to be sexy. That's not the point of it. The whole point of She-Ra and the whole He-Man franchise was just to go and sell toys, to sell the He-Man action figures and all that kind of stuff. That was the main purpose of She-Ra. And with She-Ra, the He-Man people just want to go into the girl market, to attract little girls and women to go and buy their products. That's honestly the whole purpose of She-Ra. They didn't create She-Ra for the purpose of guys to just stare at the TV and just go, oh, yeah, pretty lady. I mean, here's the thing. If you guys seriously have an issue with the way that this She-Ra looks, and that you would wish to see the old She-Ra back, then honestly, just go on the frickin' internet. Just look up images of how She-Ra looked beforehand, and you'll see like all different pictures and different artworks of how She-Ra was. And on top of that, there are some pictures out there that are intentional of that she is meant to look sexy. Like, the reason why they would do that specific artwork is to make her look attractive, is to, well, this might sound bad, but more exploit her body in a sense. So if you really need that, and you just want to see She-Ra's sexiness per se, you just go on the internet. Or if you want to take a step further, and your purpose is to go and fap to She-Ra, then you can have that too. Just go on DeviantArt, and I'm sure you can find plenty of pictures of She-Ra that could be very seductive and maybe even naked. Heck, I wouldn't even be surprised if you go on DeviantArt and you'll find this version of She-Ra that would actually be naked and sexy and actually a woman, where she would be thick with big boobs and stuff like that. If you need to fap, just go on the internet. Don't go to freaking DreamWorks, because they're just intending to make a show, and that's pretty much it. And I already see in the chat wall, they've already proven a point. That's why Rule 34 exists, man! But honestly, like, if I just may express my opinion right over here, like, honestly, I don't see the point of why people are saying that, oh, she's not hot enough. Like, they probably just have low standards on women. For me, like, I see this She-Ra, I will admit, she is actually pretty sexy. She is actually pretty hot, you know, and this definitely does this definitely does look like a strong woman. So, you know, if this is the kind of girl that would come to me, like, if she would come to me and ask me out on a date, I would just say, yes, no problem, like, right then and there. But I will say, though, there is also another thing about She-Ra, is that I've seen a few people commenting that technically she is a teenager. She's supposed to be like 16 or 14 or something like that. So if that actually is the case, well then, okay, I can wait. Honestly, I could probably wait a few years until she is legal, and then maybe, like, we'll see what's going on. But yeah, if she is 16 or she's 14 or something like that, if she's like jailbait age, then I'll step back, you know, like, I'll go back to my waifu, Daphne, right over here. I know she's of legal age, so that's perfectly fine with me. Okay, but yeah, all jokes aside, though, going into this trailer in particular, like I said before, I really do think that this teaser trailer actually does work. It actually is pretty strong and pretty effective for what it's supposed to be. It's a teaser trailer. We didn't necessarily see a lot of it. We only just saw a few little snippets of what could possibly be in the series right over here, and just a small reveal of how the girl ultimately becomes She-Ra, like, ultimately would become this. And it's actually pretty cool the way that they would do it with the, like, you see throughout the whole thing. Hold on, I'll just mute it so that my voice would be more clear here. Like, you see throughout the trailer, it's mostly, like, you see clips that are in the reflection of the sword, and that's honestly a pretty cool effect, and really does sell, like, the action aspect, where, yes, this sword in particular actually does play a huge part in the series. And then, of course, excuse me, and then, of course, right at the end, where we see her big transformation of how she does become She-Ra that we see on the screen right over here, which, like I said, really is reminiscent to Sailor Moon, which does bring me to the animation aspect onto this, where, of course, this is another series that's trying to go more mock anime, where it is clear that this is a bunch of Americans trying to emulate the Japanese anime style. But since this is from DreamWorks Animation, of course, this is not their first time doing something like this. And we've already seen them do that type of mock animation before with DreamWorks Voltron. And they've had good experience with it. And even with this one, it actually does look pretty good. You know, it does look like it would have some strong animation. And even in the little clips that we see in the sword, the animation is actually not that bad. It has some strong designs. The backgrounds do look pretty interesting from what I see. It does have some vibrant colors. This actually does look like a good looking animated series. This looks like something that visually it will deliver on something strong. But the story and stuff like that, well, that is something that we have to wait and see, because it didn't necessarily reveal all that much. But overall, I will say that this looks like something that can have a lot of potential. This could have a strong chance to actually become DreamWorks' next big animated series that they're going to put up on Netflix. Of course, this is based on She-Ra. It already has a strong property. And already there is a good fan base. Like, even though there is a bit of backlash for, like, stupid reasons, there is still this very strong fan base that is committed to go and check this out and are actually pretty excited. And I can see why, honestly. This does look like something that can be a strong, well-written, well-visualized animated series. So, honestly, I don't think they have mentioned when this one is going to be released in particular. I think it's going to be sometime this year. Or did they mention it? I just want to double check. Oh, yes, they did. Fudge, nabbit. No, that's not what I want to do. Alright, sorry about that. Clicked on the wrong button. Here, I just want to get back a little bit. No. Hold on. Where is it? Yeah, there we go. Yes, it says here that, according to Netflix, this series is going to be coming out on November 16th. And honestly, I'm pretty excited to see how this is going to go. This does look like it can have some very strong potential. And with with a pretty attractive protagonist, I'm sure, DreamWorks can have something strong in their hands. So, with all that said and done, let's go right ahead into the chat wall, and I would like to know from you guys, what do you think about this teaser trailer of She-Ra and the Princesses of Power? Is this something that you think it's gonna be a strong series? Are you excited for it? Are you not? Are you sold? Do you think you're gonna need more clips? Let me know. What do you guys think about this? Let's see. I think the new She-Ra looks sexy. Also, I think the show has a lot of promise. Looking forward to it. Okay. The animation looks nice, and I can see the possibilities for more DreamWorks Rule 34. Oh boy. But as for my opinion of She-Ra or even He-Man in general, I have no opinion! Yeah, I mean, I will admit with me as well, I was born in the 90s, so I'm not someone who grew up with He-Man or She-Ra or anything like that. I think the most that I've ever delved into in terms of a He-Man property is actually the live-action Masters of the Universe back when I made the top 10 worst films based on a cartoon. And admittedly, that one was, like, hilariously bad. Alright, let's see now. We also got another... excuse me. We have another comment. It looks cool. I could be interested in seeing this show, but AniMat, you do realize that not every complaint came from the cartoon community. There could be anyone, either from fans of She-Ra or somebody else, not complaining, just letting you know. No, I am aware of that. Like, of course there might, like, a lot of it are not necessarily from the cartoon community or She-Ra fans. Hold on, let me rephrase that. They're not necessarily from the community, but just She-Ra fans in general, but I'm just saying, though, either way, the complaints about this animated series here, it doesn't change the fact that it's honestly really stupid. And just complaining that, oh, she's not hot enough. No, that's not legitimate criticism there. I mean, for God's sakes, it's clear that you ain't no critic. Let's see here. Unlike them, I didn't complain about the series because I believe I like this new show no matter what. Okay. Oh, when are you gonna update the list? I want to see where Peter Rabbit falls onto that. That top 10. I don't know. I got plenty of other ideas, and I don't want to go back to do something like top 10 worst films based on a cartoon. I don't want to go back to those things. Okay, but anyways, with all that said and done, I think we are pretty much good with She-Ra, and we are now gonna go on to our next story, which very coincidentally is very similar to what we just saw with She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. Because what we are going to jump into now is going to be another trailer for an animated series that's going to be coming out on Netflix, and it actually stars a girl. And what we have right over here is going to be a series not necessarily based on a TV show or anything like that, but actually based on an acclaimed graphic novel by Luke Pearson. And now we are going to go and watch the trailer for Hilda. So let's take a listen.
I love
love it here in the wilderness. There's mystery everywhere you look. Come on, Twig. Let's get my sketchbook. Done. Time to go.
Hilda, we have to move to Trollberg.
Please, Mum. We've been here since I was born. It's literally the best place ever.
Hello.
I bet we wouldn't have neighbors like this in Trollberg.
It's drafty in here. You should really close that door.
Just keep an open mind. You might find the city more fun than you think.
It still can't match the wilderness for interesting creatures.
Oh no?
I'm Hilda. I just moved here. Want to be friends?
We are Spur Scouts, friendly and helpful to all.
Hilda!
Wow, this is amazing. There's a great big world out there. There's so much we've never seen. Whoa, so much we don't know. Such is the life of an adventurer.
Okay. Okay, we do have a... Oh, wow. Okay, so we do have a release date. So, as you guys can see, this is Hilda. And like I said before, this is based on the acclaimed graphic novel by Luke Pearson, which I will give you a little bit of context. This is something that I'm not necessarily too familiar with. I've never read any of the Hilda graphic novels, so this really is my first experience into seeing what Hilda is. And I could definitely tell that a lot of people are having vibes from other shows, especially, like, what I see referenced a lot is Gravity Falls. Like, a lot of people say, it's like, oh, this is Gravity Falls. It reminds me a lot of Gravity Falls. And yeah, I honestly, I really do see a lot of the similarities. Not just Gravity Falls, but also something like, what was it? Oh yes, with Adventure Time as well. I do see how, like, both of them do have some strong parallels, and how Hilda could fit in within that realm. Like, this is a series where it actually does dive a lot into the fantasy, and there's a lot of unique and creative creatures. And in a way, some could argue that this isn't just regular fantasy. The way that they are interpreting the creatures is a little bit more psychedelic fantasy. And on top of that, you also got the art style in here, which is leaning a little bit more towards a simpler and a cuter art style that they're going. But this is based on a graphic novel, and I did look a little bit into what it looks like in the books. And yeah, this is honestly a series where it literally took the pages and just bring it to life with animation. That's exactly what it looks like. And even when you look at the way the characters are drawn, in a sense, it does feel like it's something that is more handmade, more so than something that was directly done on the computer. So I feel like it does do a great job trying to adapt a book into a series right over here, to take the art style that was done in those pages and then bring it to life in animation, where we see like the characters moving and how these creatures are now developed, how they're brought to life. And honestly, I can see a lot of strong potential, where I can see with Hilda that it would actually go into a direction where it might be the next Gravity Falls or Adventure Time. And especially considering that this is something that it is based on a graphic novel, an acclaimed graphic novel, mind you, this does look like it wants to stay true to the books, and that the people who made the series, they want to make sure that like what you got in the pages is going to be brought to life onto here. So they want to keep to the tone. They want to keep to the fantasy of it. So they want to make sure that they can bring what those pages have and put it onto Netflix. So I could see the strong potential that this could be the next big Netflix series. And I will give it major credit, major props that, my God, like, they really do have a lot of creative characters in here. Like, you see all the different, like, you see, like, flying dog balls, you know, you meet different sorts of characters, and, like, you got this little wood, like, this little creature made of wood, which looks like it came straight out of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, which I wouldn't be surprised if that was the actual inspiration for that. But yeah, it does look like something where it wants to lean on the magic and this girl who goes and experiences these different magical creatures and moving into this new place. And in a way, it would have a little bit of that Inside Out theme right over here, where you see through a kid's perspective of moving to a brand new area and having a fresh start where you have to make new friends and stuff like that. So from there, I do feel like it does have a lot of potential to be something that could be very, very strong. And I'm not gonna lie, honestly, comparing Hilda to She-Ra, like what we got with those trailers, like if I would have to pick one where there's going to be this one animated series that's going to come out strong, I would put my money more on Hilda. Well, then again, I guess it would be a little bit unfair considering that this is more of a full-on trailer that we just saw that's more than twice as long than what we got with She-Ra. But I don't know, I see a lot of strong potential that for fans of the recent psychedelic animated series with stuff like Adventure Time, Gravity Falls, and maybe even Steven Universe to a certain extent, this could be something that can come out great. It can come out strong. It could come out a lot of fun. It could have some great comedy. I can already see that it has great fantasy and great creativity. It looks great as well. The animation does look very nice. So who knows? I think this is something that could actually be I think this could actually turn out to be a strong series. I think Netflix has something very powerful in their hands that hopefully it will turn out awesome. And you know, even like throw away the comparisons and stuff like that, I think with what Netflix has with both Hilda and She-Ra, they're going to have some strong animated series in their disposal. Like, they really are crafting up their animation lineup that is going to be coming soon. So, yeah, I think with Hilda, it definitely looks great. And it's actually going to be coming out extremely soon because I see down here in the description, it actually states that it's going to be coming out next week on September 21st. So, we'll see how Hilda will perform. So, with all that said and done, let me go ahead and move on to the chat wall. And I want to know, what do you guys think of Hilda? Are you guys sold on the idea? Are you interested in checking out what this series has? Are you going to go and watch the series when it comes out next week on Netflix? Do you think you're going to pass on it? I want to know what you guys think with Hilda. All right, let's see. You might watch it. Let's see. I honestly want Netflix to buy the rights to Making Friends. To Making Friends, okay. Let's see. I love the cute feel of it. The animation is beautiful, and it looks like it could be the next Gravity Falls. Coincidence, I say, because Alex Hirsch is moving to Netflix. When the show inevitably drops, I will definitely check it out. Okay, yeah. Let's see. Do you have Netflix, AniMat? Yeah, I do, but honestly, I don't really use it as much. It's more, my family that use it a lot more than me. I mean, that's kind of the price to pay when I mainly focus a lot more on just making my videos and talk about animated features. Alright, am I the only person here who didn't think the animation isn't that good? Oh, Bruno, you brought up a challenge that a lot. Alright, let's see. Hilda had a cute design, great animation, and possibly a great story. Might be curious about it on Netflix. Ooh. Okay, so I see that, you know, for the most part, there definitely is a lot of positivity for Hilda. So yeah, I think this trailer did do a great job. So yeah, 2 great trailers in a row. So yeah, there really is some strong comparisons to Hilda and She-Ra today. Alright, so with all of that said, I think it is time now that we shall move on to our last trailer that I have for you today, but it is going to be a bonus miscellaneous. Now, we are going to be stepping aside from Netflix and animated TV shows and all that stuff, and we are going to be going to Japan, where we shall enter upon the Tokyo Game Show, where they showed us the brand new trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3, and introduced us to the brand new world that is going to be based on Big Hero 6. Now, get ready, guys, because you might not understand what they're saying, because this one will be in Japanese. So, let's go ahead and take a look at this trailer of Kingdom Hearts 3. Which starts right now. Yeah, light together, heart, oath, purpose. Oh, there we go.
行こう。ゴーゴー、大丈夫？なんだ？
Oh, they put subtitles. I did not know that.
こんにちは。私はベイマックス。あなたの健康を守ります。
僕はヒロ。君たちも一緒に戦ってくれるの？僕たちはビッグヒーロー6だ。
私たちはチームでしょ。チームにしかできないことがある。
空たちはみんなの援護をお願い。任せろ。
俺に挨拶もなしで行こうってのか。
プリン、ラプンツェルを頼む。
任せろ。逃げ足だけは誰にも負けない。
ゼアノート。
まだ実験中だ。出て行かれたら困るな。
You're only everything I ever dreamed of, ever dreamed of. You must be kidding me. Did you really think I could say no? I want you for a life.
抗って抗った先に掴む影によってキングダムハーツが現れる。
Alright, so that is the trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3. Well, at least one of the many trailers, or at least the recent trailer that we have seen of Kingdom Hearts 3 that came out at this week's or this year's Tokyo Game Show. And for those of you who haven't, or for those of you who are just listening, what the trailer showed is that the biggest emphasis on this is the fact that they showed for the first time Big Hero 6 in Kingdom Hearts 3 as one of the new trailers. And of course, the entire team is going to be present in there. And the main ones, of course, we are seeing that Sora, Goofy, and Donald are going to be interacting with Hero and Baymax. While, of course, the other members of the team are going to be in there, including Wasabi, Go-Go, Honey Lemon, and also Fred. But on top of that, we also see other moments that are going to be happening in the game. A lot of parts that, honestly, for non-diehard Kingdom Hearts fans would actually be very confused about. But we do actually see a couple of characters that we know are going to be featured in the Kingdom Hearts game, or in this Kingdom Hearts game in particular, but they've never been prominent before. But now they actually do have a bit of... they're now prominently shown in this trailer right over here. Like, first we saw Flynn Rider from Tangled, sorry. Flynn Rider from Tangled, he is actually featured, and we have his little moment there. And then on top of that, we also saw Randall from Monsters, Inc., where he is going to be a bit of an antagonist in the Monsters, Inc. world. And that's pretty much the big thing that this trailer wants to emphasize. It's mainly the reveal of the new world to see how San Francisco looks like in Kingdom Hearts 3. And of course, with the graphics that they're displaying, it actually does look quite amazing and almost like very similar to what we got in the movies themselves. Honestly, no doubt about it, Square Enix has done an amazing job, at least showing us what they have with this one right over here. But honestly, with all that said, I just want to go and ask one big question about this trailer in particular. What the fridge took them so long to reveal Big Hero 6? And the reason why I say that is because a lot of people who are following Kingdom Hearts 3 news, they are very well aware that Big Hero 6 is going to be coming to Kingdom Hearts 3. They are aware that is going to be one of the new worlds. But the thing is that that's actually one of the first worlds that Square Enix and Disney actually revealed for this game. Like back in the beginning of things, we already knew that Tangled was going to be a new world, and then they showed some concept art where we saw this big picture in San Francisco where Sora, I think Hero is there, and Baymax are fighting off this evil heartless version of Baymax. You might have seen that concept art, and the craziest thing is that was released back in 2016. Some people are saying 2015 or 2016. Like, yeah, it's been years that we actually knew about Big Hero 6 being in Kingdom Hearts 3. And honestly, what is insane about it is that between when we saw the first concept art of San Francisco in Big Hero 6 in Kingdom Hearts 3, and then up to this moment where we finally have this trailer, Square Enix already revealed 3 brand new worlds. They already revealed 3 brand new worlds that would be in Kingdom Hearts 3. They would go, like, maybe I think they've already revealed the Tangled world beforehand, I think. But I know that after they showed that concept art, they would later go and reveal the Toy Story world. They would then go and reveal the Frozen world. And then after that, they would reveal the Monsters, Inc. world. And then right now, we got this. We got Big Hero 6. Like, now they're showing it. Now, I will say that there is a possibility that maybe they showed this one much later because they were making those other worlds beforehand, and then, like, later in development, they decided, okay, now it's time for us to do San Francisco. Let's go and do that. And yes, of course, like, a lot of people in the chat wall I see are already mentioning the fact that they've also waited for some other stuff as well, like including especially the summons, where we already know Ariel is going to be a summon. We know that Wreck-It Ralph is going to be a summon as well. But but for me, the biggest emphasis is just the fact that we had to wait so long for Disney to actually reveal that Big Hero 6 is going to be in a Kingdom Hearts game, or at least what it's going to officially look like. And funny enough, like, I don't know why they had to wait, like, up to this moment right over here. Maybe it's specifically for the purpose of Tokyo Game Show that they've waited, like, all the other reveals. Like, they want to strategically place where they want to first show those big worlds, because you got to keep in mind, this did get revealed in the Tokyo Game Show. They want to go and reveal, of course, a place that is heavily influenced by Tokyo. So that could make sense when you do think about that, because you look back into some of the other reveals, it would make sense as well, because a great example of what I mean, you think about D23, like last year's D23, where they actually revealed the first Pixar world, and that's when they showed the whole Toy Story world, and they decided that's going to be the great thing to go and announce for at the D23 Expo, you know, the official Disney Expo. That's where we're going to go and present Toy Story. And then for Tokyo Game Show, we're going to wait and reveal Big Hero 6 for that. So that could strongly be the case for this. And so far, Big Hero 6 does seem like to be the most recent Disney film that is going to be presented here. And I mean, well, technically, there are other worlds, and I just realized right now, there is technically another world that they did reveal during that whole time. We also had the Pirates of the Caribbean world. I mean, technically that doesn't count as a new world per se, considering that Sora, Goofy, and Donald did meet characters like Will Turner, Barbossa, Elizabeth, and Jack Sparrow. But that one in particular is actually based more on the third movie, at World's End, considering that we do see many of the other characters that are prominently in there, especially like when they're in that scene of Davy Jones' locker, and we see the Black Pearl just coming out and swimming through the sand and stuff like that. So technically, they went and revealed 4 worlds before going on to this one right over here, before showing us Big Hero 6, after the fact that everybody knew that one of the new worlds is going to be Big Hero 6. Honestly, it's kind of fun. It's weird in a way. But yeah, overall though, even though that is kind of a weird scenario right over there, like I said before, it definitely does look nice. Big Hero 6 actually does look a lot like how it was presented back in the movie. And honestly, it does put in a lot of anticipation for what the game is going to deliver. And especially on top of that, of course, they revealed a new Keyblade that is actually inspired by Baymax. So, yeah, for those of you who are highly excited, who are highly anticipated for this, of course, it's going to be coming out on January 29th, 2019 for Xbox One and PS4. Which, honestly, I am surprised that with the, since I did mention back at the beginning about Nintendo Switch, I was honestly pretty surprised that Nintendo Direct didn't announce that they would actually release Kingdom Hearts 3 onto the Nintendo Switch, especially the fact that they already did reveal a lot of the classic they revealed a lot of the classic Final Fantasy games. They're going to be available for the Switch. I'm surprised they didn't go and include Kingdom Hearts 3 onto this one as well, but I guess winners can't be choosers, you know? Or is that how the saying goes? I don't know, maybe I butchered it. But anyways, let us now go ahead onto the chat wall, and I would like to ask you guys, what do you guys think about this trailer right over here? Actually, hold on. Someone mentioned I'm apparently, hold on Vice. Wait, hey Matt, I saw you on Vice article? Is that for real? Oh, that sounds interesting. If that's the case, show me the link to it. I am curious to know what you're talking about. But anyways, yes. Anyways, back onto this. I would like to know in the chat wall, what do you guys think about this new trailer of Kingdom Hearts 3 showing the new Big Hero 6 world in San Francisco? Are you guys excited to see more Kingdom Hearts action in San Francisco? Are you excited to see characters like Hero and Baymax interacting with Sora? Are you guys not sure about this? What do you guys think? Oh, beggars can't be choosers. Thank you, Leslie. That's what I wanted to know. Okay. Let's see here. I wonder if Scott Adsit will reprise the role of Baymax in the English version. I think he will. Like, in my opinion, I think he is doing the voice in the animated series, and in that case, I think he would be more than happy to come back as Baymax for Big Hero 6. I mean, like, I think they also did bring back a lot of the celebrities for Frozen and put them onto here. Like, I think it was legit Josh Gad who's going to be playing Olaf here. And I think they are bringing back Idina Menzel and Kristen Bell to be Elsa and Anna, respectively. So that could be the case. But I will say, yeah, I think there is a strong chance he will be in Big Heroes. He'll be in Kingdom Hearts 3. Okay, so let's see. To be honest, that was the first time that I saw one of the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailers in Japanese. Well, you know, that is actually pretty interesting because, like, with the trailers that we've had before, I think some of them are shown in Japanese, but we did have a few English ones as well. Let's see now. Do we have any other comments? Let's see. Oh, hopefully they won't bring back TJ Miller. Yeah, nah, TJ ain't coming back on this one. He had a few lucky shots after his accusation of sexually abusing a woman, but honestly, ever since then, it's just, no. Alright, let's let's see. I'm just going to keep my hype focus towards Luigi's Mansion 3 for right now. Yeah, that is true. I mean, Nintendo, like with this week's Nintendo Direct, they did announce a lot of major stuff that's going to be coming out in early 2019. Okay. Do we have anything else? Oh wow, people are already replacing. TJ Miller will be replaced by Christopher Plummer. No. Christopher Plummer is specialized for Kevin Spacey. Whoever, I don't know who did the I don't know who is doing the voice of Fred in the animated series of Big Hero 6, but he's most likely going to be the guy replacing TJ Miller. But hopefully not all of them. We don't want to put him we don't want to give him the burden of also voicing Gene from the Emoji Movie. I wouldn't want that on even my worst enemy. Okay, but I think with all of that said and done, we're pretty much good with all the trailers that we have right over here. And now we are going to go on to our next story, which I hate to put things on a downer mood right now, but we do have a little bit of sad news, and this is especially heartbreaking for anybody who is more of an environmentalist. And the news that I have for you is actually regarding the bird species, the Spix Macaw. These little birds right over here. Yes, unfortunately, they are officially extinct in the wild. Apparently, according to the report from BirdLife International, the Spix Macaw has officially been extinct in the wild. They mostly inhabit around the Amazon area. Some of them are in Brazil, or no, they mainly live in Brazil, but unfortunately you cannot find them anymore in the wild. Reading from my source here in CNN, it actually states, from the chief scientist and paper's lead author Stuart Butchard, he actually stated that 90% of bird extinction in recent centuries have been species on islands. However, our result confirmed that there is a growing wave of extinction sweeping across the continents, driven mainly by habitat loss and degradation from unsustainable agriculture and logging. And that's kind of the main reason why these birds are going extinct. It's mainly the fact that their homes are pretty much being destroyed. Like, we see a lot of deforestation going on, caused by human activity and industrialism. So unfortunately, they are cutting off their homes and they don't have anywhere to live. And if they don't have anywhere to live, then that pretty much means that they don't have, they can't have a home. They can't make a nest to make babies and stuff like that. And that's why they would go and die off one by one. It's not because of poachers. It's not because there's a huge bounty on these birds or anything like that. It's mainly because their homes are being taken away from them and they can't really have a nest to make more babies and to make more Spix Macaws. Now, some of you might be wondering though, why the fridge am I talking about this news in particular? What does this have to do with animation or cartoons or anything like that? Well, the thing is, if you don't know what the Spix Macaw is, it's basically a blue parrot where from top to bottom, he's all blue. And the reason why I would go and say that is mainly because these are actually the birds that actually inspired Blu and Jewel from Blue Skies Rio. Yes, these are actually the birds from Rio, and unfortunately right now they have gone extinct. And with that aspect right over there, since these are the birds that are based on Rio, there is a bit of a cruel irony in a sense, because when you think about Rio and its sequel Rio 2, a big theme of that is actually regarding, what is it? I'm trying to think. Oh, yes. A big theme in Rio is actually regarding endangered species, because you would see the human characters discussing how these birds are highly endangered and that the guy is actually looking for a male Spix Macaw, which is Blue in this case, so that he can go and mate with his female Spix Macaw, which is Jewel. And from there, they would go on a wacky, wild adventure all around Rio de Janeiro and also around the Amazon and all that kind of stuff. So they would go and have their little crazy adventure from there. And because of that, it does kind of make it a little bit awkward now to go and watch Rio nowadays, because you check it out and they would discuss about, oh, we need to go and save these species. They're highly important. They're really endangered and we need more of them in the wild. Well, apparently, sadly though, in reality, it is a little bit too late, considering that they're pretty much all gone. They're pretty much all dead. And the ironic part is that even CNN actually did mention this. In the 2011 movie, Blue was raised in captivity and travels from Minnesota to Brazil with his owner to repopulate his species with the last wild female of their kind, Jewel. But the movie was 11 years too late, the study found, as Jewel likely would have died in 2000. So, yeah, that's kind of the big issue right over here, that they couldn't find any more wild Spix Macaws. And especially, like, looking into the sequel, where the main theme of that is mainly finding Jewel's family and her old tribe and stuff like that, where we see all her people that she grew up with. Yeah, all those birds, they're pretty much gone. They are pretty much dead right over there. So, yeah, Rio 2, sadly, it's pretty much now a fantasy film, because, yeah, there ain't no Spix Macaws flying around like that. You ain't gonna see any more flying Bruno Mars going around and, introducing you saying, "Welcome back." So, yeah, that is kind of the sad thing about this. However, I will say there is a big however, though. And to properly quote from the Enchanted Tiki Room, "Every cloud has a silver line." Even though they are extinct in the wild, I think the big thing that we need to emphasize is the fact that they are extinct in the wild. That does not mean that these Spix Macaws are extinct entirely. If we look into the last line here from the CNN article, it actually says, that doesn't mean that all hope is lost for birds like Blue. The report says that although the species is extinct in the wild, 60 to 80 Spix Macaws are still alive in captivity. So these Spix Macaws, they still exist. There are still Spix Macaws that are around the world. They do exist. They are still real. You can go and check them out in captivity. You just can't go into the Amazon anymore and check them out in the wild. Like, you can't just look up and say, like, oh, look at that Spix Macaw right over there. You can't really do that. But with that said, though, even though that there are some still in captivity, I do have a feeling that they will still be in captivity for a long time. That doesn't mean that eventually all the Spix Macaws in the world will pretty much die out. It's just that with this case right over here with the Spix Macaws, is that you got to keep in mind of the main problem why the wild ones are pretty much extinct. It's the fact that their homes have been taken away from them. So what they have to do first, before we put a few of them out in the wild so that they could repopulate the Spix Macaws, they got to first create homes for them. They got to make sure that they would be in an environment that they would be safe from any poachers or from any industrialists that would go and take down their homes so that they could go make products for wood and stuff like that. They got to make sure they need to create some homes first in the wild before repopulating them in the wild. That's what they got to go and do first. But it is nice to know that the Spix Macaws do exist. They do still exist right now. Even though they are a highly endangered species, we know that there are some that are still walking around, that are still making babies. That part is still good. It's just the problem is that they can't really go out in the wild just yet. So first, the main thing is to go and help repopulate their homes, to go and make some trees that they could actually live in and put them in an area where they would be safe from any sort of human activity. I think that's pretty much the big thing right there. And with all of that said, I think that's pretty much the report that we have here regarding this piece of news with the Spix Macaw's wild extinction. And I would like to know, what do you guys think in the chat wall right over here? What do you think about the Spix Macaws being extinct in the wild and how we do have some in captivities? I would like to know your opinion on this. Alright, so let's see. Oh, yeah, and beware of typing it. Beware of typing Spix Macaws, because autocorrect is gonna capture you and try to mess things up. Because I see one comment calling it the Spix Macaw story. Yeah, it's not. They ain't Spix Macaw, but it ain't your fault. It ain't your fault. Let's see. Excuse me, but didn't Rio 2 confirm that there is a massive colony of blue macaws in the heart of the Amazon? Did people even look there? Maybe. Yeah, but we can't really, but I mean, like, we're talking about bird experts, and then we're talking about blue sky animators. And if we're gonna learn about who would be more right about, the blue macaws or the Spix Macaws, I would trust more the bird experts than the animators at freaking Blue Sky. Sure, they literally have the name Blue on their freaking company title, but that doesn't make them total bird experts. I'm just saying right there. Let's see. I hope the person who keeps them in captivity make more macaws. Well, it's not just one person. Like, this is like scattered from all around the world. Like this picture here on CNN of these Spix Macaws, like this is actually from the Association of the Conservation of Threatened Parrots in Germany. So, they're all around the world. They're not necessarily just in this one place near the Amazon in Brazil. Like, there are some in Germany, there are some in America, there are some in Canada. They're like all over the place. Let's see. Will this piece of news get Blue Sky Studios to make Rio 3? That would honestly be surprising. It's like, for me, I would feel like, well, no, because, like, it's been years since we've had a Rio 2, so I don't know why they would make a Rio 3, but it would not surprise me if this would trigger them to go and be inspired to go, like, okay, let's do Rio 3 based on this news right over here. You never know with Blue Sky, but hey, I will say, I will support the idea of a Rio 3. As long as it keeps their attention away from making any more Ice Age sequels, then I'm all for it, If that's an excuse if that's an excuse for them to not make Ice Age 6, then I'll do it. That's perfectly fine with me. But yeah. Yeah, oh my god, I think somebody does not like Rio 3 here. No, me! I said Rio 3 will never happen! Damn it, AniMat! You screwed things up! Okay. Alright, so anyways, question. In order to make me happy about the Spix Macaws, may I go on the website like Rule 34 for a look at many pictures of both Blu and Jewel mating with each other? Don't ask me about that. Don't ask me about any freaking permission of Rule 34 of Blu and Jewel. Okay, don't ask me that. Okay, you go do what you want. Don't tell me what kind of Rule 34 you want to go and check out. Okay, I think with all that said though, I think it is time that we shall now go and move on to the grand finale. And man, do I have a very interesting story for you right over here. Okay, now, for this grand finale, it's hard to say rather if, let's just move on from all that, guys. Forget about the Rule 34 thing. Let's just move on from it. But anyways, as I was saying, though, the thing is with this grand finale, it's hard to say if this is an animation story. And for that, I will say, yes and no. It's very complicated, but you'll understand. that technically it does fit a bit in the cartoon, but it certainly does fit into the crazy. I will show you what it is, and you'll know what I'm talking about. I know it seems hard to explain, but you'll get what I mean. Bridgeport woman blows up hand by mistaking dynamite for a candle. Yes, this is a legitimate thing that actually did happen. Now, I will go and try to go and explain to you the little scenario that happened in this story right over here. So apparently in Bridgeport, what happened was that there was this big thunderstorm that actually happened. And of course, when thunderstorms would happen, there would be a lot of power outages. And this family in particular had a major power outage, and it was during the night, so things really got dark, and it looks like they didn't have much flashlights. So they wanted to go and try to find some candles, and they want to try to find some lights and stuff like that, you know. They want to make sure and get some emergency lights so that they can set themselves up during this major power outage. They went to Home Depot, and sadly, that Home Depot ended up being closed. But then, the mother, who is a 30-year-old woman, she actually just realized, wait a minute, I remember that I saw some candles in the basement. I'll go and pick those up and light them up. So she did. She went back home. She went into the basement. She took those candles, and then she would light them up. And that's when she realized, oh crap, they ain't candles, they godforsaken dynamites. And reading more into my source here from my source in Fox 61, it states right over here, the 30-year-old mother of two tried to light what she thought was the candle, but turned out to be a quarter stick of dynamite. She suffered extreme injuries to one of her hands, including the potential loss of more than one of her fingers. She also suffered serious injuries to her face and was taken to Bridgeport Hospital. She was since then taken to Yale New Haven Hospital, where she currently remains treatment. The husband of the woman and also her two kids were fortunately not hurt. Now, before I go and continue on this story, I just would like to go and start things off by saying that it really is tragic how this woman really did get injured in this case right over here. And I really do hope for the best for her, and I really do hope that she does get well very soon, and that hopefully the damages that she got are minimal, you know? Like, she did get literally an explosion to the hand, to the face. You know, it's never a funny situation when that actually does happen, so I really do wish her well. But with all that said, though, let's just get into the moment right over here that, holy crap, a classic cartoon moment just came to life. Now, it's not funny that the woman got hurt in this, but there is still a bit of that comedy that, holy crap, this cartoony moment actually did happen in real life. Now, I'm sure you guys listening and watching this, you know very well that this is one of the most classic cartoon gags that you can think of. One of the most used gags that have been used in the Looney Tunes cartoons or in Tex Avery cartoons. They would do this quite often, where they would light a candle to go around like this dark area, but they would mistake the candle for a stick of dynamite, and then what happens? It blows up and their face is completely black, you know, like all charred up and like hair is all backwards and stuff like that. You know, that's a very classic cartoon moment right over there. And it could be from one dumb character mistaking a dynamite for candle, or it could be like the trickster ended up getting tricked by his own trick. Like, one of the best examples that I can think of, I forgot the name of this cartoon, but I know it's a Looney Tunes cartoon by, what was his name? Hold on, Chuck Jones, Friz Freeling. It was done by Bob McKimson, and it's the one where Daffy Duck is like this salesman, where he's trying to sell insurance, and he would give $1 million for a person who would have a black eye, which in this case is Porky Pig. And he would set up all these crazy scenarios. And there is one instance where he wants Porky Pig to get in an accident. So he would paint like this stick of dynamite, like paint it all white and use it as a candle. And then Porky Pig would just go down and like use the candle, and like he's trying to look for something. And it's like, hey Daffy, can you help me out? Yeah, sure. What is it? Hold this. Oh no. And like, boom, that happens. You might remember that cartoon. Maybe you know which one I'm talking about. But yeah, that is a major one that probably everybody knows that it is a classic cartoon gag. And holy crap, I never thought that this would actually happen. It's the kind of thing that you would normally think that you would really have to be quite dumb to mistake a stick of freaking dynamite as an actual candle. Now technically it's not necessarily her fault. This is not to say that the 30-year-old woman here is dumb. Not at all. Because you got to keep in mind in the scenario that it was a thunderstorm and it was pretty much pitch black. It was during the night, so she couldn't really see much. She couldn't really analyze that the stick of dynamite was legitimately a stick of dynamite and not a candle. So on that regard, it was not necessarily her fault because she was in a scenario where she can't fully analyze that it actually was a stick of dynamite. But I will say though, there is one major thing that this family did actually screw up. This is not on the woman, but also on the husband as well. Where apparently, the thing is, it actually says here that, I'll go back into my source in Fox 61, that the family remembered that they bought the house 2 years prior, that there was a couple of what they thought were candles in the basement left by the previous owners of the home. Now, they did not, the big mistake that they made right over here is the fact that they did not fully analyze the contents of what's in this house. They did not realize, what is it here? Yeah. Okay, sorry, I got a little bit distracted, but I realized that with this, it really is something that they should have really fully analyzed, and that was their biggest mistake, is that they didn't fully check what those things actually are. Because when you move into a new house, or when you move into an apartment, a condo, a home, a mansion, or whatever, and especially if it was previously owned by someone else, and then when you go into this new place and you see that there is something that you know it doesn't belong to you, that's when you go and try to analyze it and fully inspect what it is to see that it's something that is not fully dangerous. You know, apparently this family right over here didn't necessarily do that. They didn't fully check, like, oh, look, I found these candles, and then, like, you fully inspect, oh, crap, no, this is actually dynamite. Let's put them away. Now, why is it that the previous house owners actually did own some sticks of dynamite? That I don't know. And that's honestly that's honestly their big mistake. And honestly, kind of the big moral that we should take from all this is that when you move into a new place and you see something that doesn't belong to you, but possibly would be owned by someone who previously lived here, make sure to fully analyze it to see if it's something that's not dangerous, okay? You can't just gloss over it and think, oh, okay, I think those are just candles and that's it, you know? You can't just do that. You gotta fully check, are these candles? No, this is dynamite. I'm gonna go to the authorities and go and talk to them. So yeah, that's kind of the big thing right over here. It's just... Oh, excuse me about that. I don't know where that coughing fit came from. But yeah, it's kind of crazy to just think about that one of the most classic cartoon moments would actually come to life. You know, it's unbelievable, I must say. It is just unbelievable. So from there, I would like to go and ask the chat wall right over here. What do you guys think about this piece of news that a classic cartoon moment would suddenly come to life? You know, are you just shocked that someone would actually fall for this classic cartoon gag, that they set themselves up for this big piece of irony? I want to know, what do you think? Let's see. The dynamite was most likely a large firecracker type called salutes, which are akin to M80s, are extremely loud, and the larger ones are labeled as X4 sticks of dynamite. Real dynamites would have killed everyone in the house. That could be possible, but I will say, how the fridge do you know this? Like, you know, the fact that you have, like, a great piece of knowledge, and that could be the case that this is just a very large firecracker, but I want to know, why the fridge do you know this piece of information? What do you know about dynamites and large firecrackers and explosions and stuff like that? That has me a little bit concerned there. Okay, this feels like something the Joker would do. That would be the case right here. You know, that would be the case, but, yeah, I just want to before that, I just want to double check on something, because I see, like, in the, commercial right over here, wow, okay, so, just, before I continue, I just want to mention, though, that apparently, a lot of people are mentioning to me that, apparently I have appeared on a Vice article, so we actually have a bonus story right over here, so I just want to go and I just feel a little bit curious about what this is, and apparently, just want to see, what is this? It says it's called A Deep Dive into the Absolutely Ridiculous World of Roku Channels, and apparently they're showing, like, foot fetishes, and they're showing some weird stuff, so apparently this is, I guess what they're showing is just some weird Roku channels, and yeah, apparently I'm featured here. Hey, it's a me, and oh my god, it's my old setting. Oh my god, this is long. Wow, this is even before, like, I have my phone, I have just the Sorcerer Mickey statue, I got my hand, and I have yet to even put out the DVDs there. I just want to see this. Okay, what have they I just want to read what the fridge they wrote here. Okay, let me see. I misread the description and downloaded this channel because I thought it was a channel devoted to people who do voices in animation. It was actually the channel of a guy called Matt Brune who reviews cartoons. Brune seems to be so into animation that he's turning himself into a cartoon character. He was wearing the same outfit in all of the videos I've watched. One of those silky Baz Luhrmann's Romeo plus Juliet shirts and an orange trilby, and spoke with the kind of chipper, inoffensive, Scrappy-Doo-esque intonation that doesn't really exist in the physical realm. The Rachel Dolezal of cartoon. Weirdest rating 7 out of 10. What the this for real? Wow! Holy crap! So my weirdest rating is 7 out of 10? Honestly, I feel like I could do a little bit better than that. But wow! Honestly, I'm not offended at all. I kind of feel honored that I made it onto this thing. And by the way, yes, I will say, yes, I actually do have a official animation look back Roku channel. So if you have Roku, you can go and check it out right there. But yeah, I officially made it as one of the weirdest Roku channels. Woohoo! Man, what an honor it is. Holy crap. Yay! But honestly, like, I need to go and work myself a little bit, you know? 7 out of 10, I feel like I could do better in the weirdness rating, you know? Apparently there are weirder channels where they say that the Cornfield of Terror is weirder, where it gives it a 10 out of 10. Apparently there's a fetish channel where it says 9 out of 10. Horny people are extremely good at being weird. Oh, really? Really? NRA TV. Weirdness channel. 0 out of 10 if you're American. 10 out of 10 if you're from somewhere else. Let's see. Again, okay, 0 out of 10 if you're NRA women. Yeah, oh boy, yeah, this is definitely a weird channel, hands down. But hey, at least, you know, I'm 7 out of 10 weird, guys. I'm officially 7 out of 10 weird. And I think that would be the perfect way to end off this episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. Holy crap. You know, whoever shared this article, thank you so much. This is actually really awesome. But yeah, hopefully you guys had a great time, and I certainly had a great time doing this episode. So, honestly, let's hope for more craziness to happen and more 7 out of 10 weirdness coming your way, both on my YouTube channel and onto the Crazy Cartoon Cast. So I just would like to say thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, see you later, dudes.